Hey everyone, welcome to the Scouting Report. Greg Lawless in for the world-weary Dan Hayek, who is off traveling. But I'm, as always, with Matt Doyle, a.k.a. the Armchair Analyst.
As always.
As always. You're always here. Make sure you check us out on Twitter. The handles are below. And today we're looking at a pretty interesting game. Toronto FC hosting the Columbus Crew. It's the Trillium Cup, as everybody knows. The game is on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. In the United States, you can watch it on Univision Deportes and MLS Live. Up in Canada, it's on TSN. Matt, what is the headline for this game?
It's an existential crisis game for two teams. Two teams who
Let's not get heavy or anything.
Right? Everybody knows there's a little bit of a Immanuel Kant, right?
Yeah.
But no, it's an existential crisis for two teams. Got to figure things out ASAP.
All right, well, let's get to the nuts and bolts of this one. We'll start with the home team. Toronto FC, a team in flux, also in turmoil. They've lost 3 in a row. Club president Kevin Payne and Ryan Nelson seem to be at their wits' end about how to turn this thing around and start to get some results. They've said very clearly they're going to go out and get some players this summer to replace some of the guys that they have. But they got to play with what they have right now. You got to dance with the date that you brung, as they say. And can they do enough with these guys to get a result against Columbus?
I mean, they can. They came out of the gate getting results. They really didn't lose it until about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's all of a sudden sort of fell apart. And I think Ryan Nelson has to sort of lean on the young guys who look like they want to be there. Luis Silva looks like he wants to be there every week. He fights on both sides of the ball. Jonathan Osorio, Daniel Henry against San Jose was throwing himself all over the field. Lean on those guys. Let them be the core of the team and just build from there. And if Silva gets the ball in those little pockets between the central midfield and the central defense, he can create for Robbie Earnshaw. And as we've seen from Robbie Earnshaw, he could finish. But ultimately with TFC, it's mental. They just look out of it for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
So maybe it's not as tactical as we think, and maybe it's mental. I kind of agree with you. Now, in Columbus, you have a team that's up and down. They're riding a roller coaster this year. They've lost their last 2. They haven't really strung any sort of complete wins together. Can they get this one up in Toronto, a team that really, on paper, they should beat?
Yeah, they should. I mean, Columbus has a lot of talent, but the way they set up, it's tough. You go and you outplay teams, but you don't get easy goals. You don't get tap-ins. You don't get those knockdowns in the box. And everything has to sort of revolve around Federico Higuaín. And he's fantastic, but he can also be scouted. Okay, he's Federico Higuaín. He's not Zinedine Zidane. Right? So teams are taking him out of the play, and you end up relying on streaky finishers like Jairo Arrieta or Dominic Oduro. Even Eddie Gavin, as great as he's been, he's a streaky finisher. And suddenly you're playing great for 90 minutes, but you got no goals on the board. So it's time to think a little bit about a tactical shift. Maybe drop Higuaín deeper, put in a second forward, someone like Aaron Schoenfeld, who's played well for the reserves, big guy who could knock the ball down, make it easier for Arrieta to find space and to go at defenses, pick up the ball in the 18 where he is so dangerous.
Well, that might lead us right to the WTF stat that we're going to talk about in this one. That is 9. Toronto FC have dropped 9 points due to conceding goals after the 80th minute this year. And the last one we saw was against San Jose when they gave up that late goal there. And so they're struggling late. Everyone seems to know that. They admit it. They're not sure why this is happening. Do they have the players, number one? And number two, do they have the gumption to figure this one out?
Well, they certainly have the players. They have suffered injuries. Richard Eckersley on the right, without him.
Young Ryan Richter, maybe not.
Yeah,
he's not Eckersley yet.
Yeah, he's not. He's not doing well at shutting down service from that flank. But they've given up goals in every conceivable way. Set pieces, long build-ups, turnovers, all of that. So they have the talent, but it's a good question. Do they have the gumption? I think it should come from Matthias Leiba. He's the DP. He's the guy they went and spent the money on. He has to be a leader. I know it's early in his career in MLS and in Toronto, but hey, if you come in with that price tag, you got to produce.
Well, what do you think is going to happen in this game? Send us a tweet. You can either one of these handles right below, or let us know in a comment if you need a few more than 140 characters.
Oh, who needs more than 140 these days? Come on.
And don't forget, the game is at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. It's the Trillium Cup up at BMO Field between Toronto and Columbus. In the U.S., you can watch it on Univision Deportes and on MLS Live. In Canada, it's on TSN. Enjoy.